Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports talk show in all of Worcester, Massachusetts, in all of central Massachusetts, in all of Vermont, in all of Maine, in all of Rhode Island, in all of Delaware, in all of Connecticut. Sean, am I forgetting anywhere?
Did you say Rhode Island?
Rhode Island, New Hampshire. Yeah, we'll throw them in there too. Basically, you're getting the best of the best.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got to say that. I have to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon Partners, they're one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of Husky Talk. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. And any day now, there's going to be a Tesla in my driveway, which I can't wait for. Sean, what does it mean? I know you're smarter than me and you're a finance guy. What does it mean when you say you specialize in employee benefits?
They're working on like 401ks and Roth IRAs, any type of plan.
Okay.
So basically the company, say you and I work for a company together.
Yeah.
We would usually outsource the planning and the benefits to a financial firm. They would take the company's money and invest it in hopefully a legal.
Oh, good. Planning. Yeah. 401ks, Roth IRAs. I'm sure I have both. We have Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by former UConn football player Rennell Jump. They will save you money in your taxes. They specialize in putting together tax plans for small businesses, either saving you a boatload of money or getting you a nice big fat check in a return. To schedule your free consultation, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. We have Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm, located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you suffered any type of personal injury, a slip and fall, a construction beam fell on you at a site, your mother-in-law tried to run you over with her car, the Finch firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all over the state of Connecticut, and he is not afraid of any insurance company around. He will get every dollar that you deserve in compensation. All you have to do is go to his website, thefinchfirm.com, and he will have a free consultation with you, go over your case, and go over your options. We have Dynamic Human Performance, owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. They have a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. He trains boys and girls of all ages who play all sports. They also offer classes throughout the day. So whatever you need, he provides it. He also has started a new athletic development program, which basically will take you from the ground up with whatever sport is you want to specialize in and help you develop to be your best, to reach your potential. Andre has sent many kids, boys and girls, on scholarship to colleges all over the country. So if you want to work with the best in Hartford, Connecticut, go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. And then down south, we have the man himself, Julius Williams, another UConn legend, played defensive line, played in the NFL. He runs the Trench Mob, which is an incredible organization that works with offensive and defensive linemen. We have the Trench Mob show every Friday night where we watch film. They go to camps and tournaments every weekend all over the country. And so far, they're 3-0 and absolutely dominating. I have never seen offensive and defensive linemen like this before. I don't know what there is in the water in Decatur, Georgia, but there's something. because the 15 and we're watching linemen from they're the class of 2026 or 2027, and they look like they're 32. But they are just they just dominate. I've never seen kids play with such aggression and competitiveness, and they will literally throw you down. Offensive linemen will throw the defensive lineman down the line and knock the rest of the offensive linemen over, and they don't care. It's awesome. So Julius is the best of the best. He has an incredible staff. He has an incredible social media team, video team. When the camp is over, they get the film up and they send it to the college coaches.
Nice.
They've had kids offered based off of these camp performances. It's happened this year. He showed me film of a kid who barely played as a senior that got a scholarship offer because he dominated at one of these camps.
Wow, that's
so
great.
Yeah, I was blown away by it because it was late March, and I'm thinking, this kid got an offer really from a camp. I was like, wow. So if you want your kid to play at the Division I level as an offensive and defensive lineman, if you want them to have an opportunity at a possible NIL deal, you need to go work with Julius Williams and the Trench Mob.
Yeah.
Go to battleofthetrenches.com and you can sign up to work with him. And I promise it will be well worth it. And now for the man of the hour, back for more. He is the star of our new Husky Talk SNS show, Mr. Sean Mulcahy. Sean, great to see you again.
Great to see you too. So I was watching Abstinence Seinfeld last night, and then the challenge came right after it. But
oh, that's the best one.
I know
that's the best one.
Do
you know how cutting edge that was? Because when they did a story behind it, and when Seinfeld initially pitched it, of course everyone said, "You're out of your mind. You can't do this."
Right.
But he said, "Listen, we're never going to use the word. We're never going to say it. They're never, they won't know. We'll infer, but without saying it, standards and practices won't be able to ding it." And that's exactly what happened. So, what were your thoughts on both episodes?
I was telling my wife I hadn't seen the Abstinence one in like a couple years, which is a really long time for Seinfeld fans.
When they do the contest?
Yeah, well, so the contest I probably saw about 6 months ago, but watching it again.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Watching it again is just great, because later on in like the next season, where someone asked George a question and they're like, "Well, how are you with that?" He's like, "I won a contest."
He did. That was the first thing he said. Yeah. He was so proud of himself.
Yeah.
And all I remember at the end of the show, they panned to everyone sleeping.
Yes.
Elaine sleeping well, Jerry sleeping well, Kramer sleeping well. George is the only moron who's tossing and turning and can't sleep.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that too, because it's such like an unwritten rule. Like it's it really helps you sleep.
It does. It does.
Really does.
It does. It does, man. It does. When you knock one out and you roll over and you go to bed, you sleep like a baby.
You really do.
I sadly compare it to just like brushing your teeth or washing your face before you go to bed. It's just part of your your routine.
Yeah, it's a daily routine. As Kramer, thank God, says, like this is not a once in a lifetime. There's multiple showings here of this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, that cracks me up. That was one of my favorites. Obviously, I mean, there's so many. The Soup Nazi obviously is a classic. And
yeah. What is the Spanish por favor? He says por favor.
Por favor, no soup for you. Gone.
Yeah.
Can't say por favor. And it's like George got mad because he didn't get bread.
Yes.
Like, bread, please. No soup for you. Gone.
Yes.
If I could run a business, that's how I would run it.
One of my good buddies around here that I've known since like the 4th grade, he'll say he's married and has 3 kids, but every once in a while he'll text me when he hasn't gotten anything, Wolfram and tungsten for the Jeopardy question, because he's so smart because he hasn't had sex in a while.
That's how George was. That's right. I forgot about that. And that's when Elaine gets stupid. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Elaine gets dumber and George gets smarter.
Yeah.
And the other one was when Jerry has the race with that Duncan guy.
Yes.
And they're at the diner, and they want to know how to introduce George.
Oh, that is so funny.
Because he's going to be the ringer, because he's going to remember that it was a fair race and Jerry didn't get a head start. And George wants to be introduced as a millionaire. Yeah. And I crack up because I still use the line. He goes, yeah, after I made my first million, the next few weren't really that hard. And then Jerry goes, George, are you wearing canvas shoes?
I also love it when Jerry gets annoyed with George and like being pompous, and he's like, well, you really lost a lot of hair there over the years.
Yeah, boy, you really went bald there, George. You really went bald. I love it. God, that's terrible. And
then he leaves. He totally forgets, and Jerry's like, George.
Hey, remember, come back. We're talking about something. We need your input. Oh, you do. You need my input.
The big race. The big race.
Of course, I remember the big race. Of course, I remember the big race.
After I lost my virginity to Mrs. Beccarelli.
That's right, the teacher. Right. That's right. He said he banged one of his teachers. You know what? It's on Netflix, and if I put it on, I can't stop watching it. I can't.
I'm the same way. Hey, did you do any homework and watch any movies?
I watched Predator 2.
Nice.
And let me tell you, first of all, it's a great cast.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it did so poorly in the box office. Danny Glover, I thought, was excellent. I thought he did. Like, people, I read that like people were concerned that they didn't think he could carry a movie as a leading man.
Yeah.
But I thought he did 100%. I thought he did 100%. The battles were outrageous. And then, like you said about the ending,
yeah,
I thought the ending was much better than obviously the first Predator.
Yeah,
I just loved it how they came out and gave him his props for defeating the monster and gave him his prize. Like, it was so symbolic. And I read now it actually has a strong cult following. Yep. And people who have re-reviewed it have given it a much better grade. So that was good to hear. I was supposed to watch that other movie, but I unfortunately got caught up in watching The Breakfast Club.
Oh, great. We could talk about that too.
I couldn't turn it off. I'm sorry.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
I just loved it. I hadn't seen it in so long. And Judd Apatow is just hilarious, trying to be a badass, and he's not. And Emilio Estevez, and it's just such a good cast. And it's a Saturday study hall, which I don't even remember I don't remember ever even having that. Did you guys have that at Staples?
I remember my sisters who are older than me, their class had it. None of my sisters got it. Yeah, but they did have, that was a thing in the 80s. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It was
Because I was thinking to myself, that's awful for everyone. That's awful for the teachers.
Yeah. Oh, for the whole, it sucks for everyone. It's terrible. The guy who plays the principal, Paul Gleason, there's so many. He kills it for me when he's like, "Who put this here? This is a fire hazard. Get this out of here." Go on, move. And then they like can't move it, and then they slip. Emilio Estevez slips on like the bookcase. It's so funny. And then, I got you for 2 weeks. You get
two. Yeah, you're done. You want more? You got more.
Yeah. He's also the guy in Die Hard where he's like,
yes,
where he's like, they're shooting the lights, and our guy from Family Matters is like, no kidding.
Reginald.
Was it Reginald? Something.
Reginald Van Johnson, I think his name was. Yes, and the only reason I think of Family Matters is when we do the earlier podcasts at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
This game show comes on. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Family Feud almost. And the host is Jaleel White. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, that can't be Urkel.
Yep.
Can't be Urkel. And the people are calling him Jaleel. I'm like, oh my God, Urkel's a game show host. This is what it's come to. And it blew me away. It blew me away. But I just wanted to get your thoughts, obviously, to start on our UConn women becoming national champions.
Well, they look great.
It was an amazing weekend. Yeah.
Talk about blowout city.
We all talked about that. I just thought overall, and I think you and I mentioned it too, just the tournament, it didn't seem as entertaining, as magical as it normally is, with the Cinderella stories, with the close games. Like UConn had the largest margin of victory in a national championship game.
I mean, it didn't seem competitive, which is why it wasn't
not even close.
Yeah, like it was. I don't want to say it was boring, because when your team is winning and constantly up, it's exciting and fun in the moment. But when you look back on it and look at the scores and the blowouts, you're like, man, this wasn't even a competitive year for these guys. But I'm still surprised that it's been 9 years since they won previously. So I'm super happy that they were able to win and be dominant to show that the program is still there. I'm curious to know how many times they've been in the Final Four within those 9 years. And I want to say it's been every year that they were in the Final Four.
It's been close to every year where they've been in the Final Four, or they had lost the game to get to the Final Four. I think it was 2 years ago. They've lost championship games. They've always been there.
Yeah.
But this year, to beat South Carolina and UCLA, who were the teams predominantly that were ranked number one throughout the entire season, and just dominate them like they were a high school team, was pure embarrassment. I am not a Dawn Staley fan. I just can't stand her. And it was so entertaining and refreshing to see her throw a temper tantrum. She was stomping her feet and yelling at the refs, and she was just miserable the entire time. And it couldn't happen to a nicer person. And she threw her players under the bus, which I love. She blames her players. It's always a player's fault. And the women just had a tough road because of the way that the tournament was structured. They flew right from Spokane to Tampa and I think they got there Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, you're playing again on Friday,
Yep.
and then you're playing Sunday. And Joe D argued with me about it. It's because like the men do the same, only the men play Saturday and Monday. But I just thought because the girls, having to come all the way from Spokane, like if I'm on the NCAA tournament committee and I'm thinking of locations to have the Sweet 16, Birmingham and Spokane would be probably 99 and 100th on my list of cities to choose.
Totally.
Like there's no upside to going to either place. Birmingham, my God, the time I spent there, I'm lucky I didn't jump off the roof of the Ramada Inn. I mean, it was awful there. But between that and Mayfield, I mean, my God,
God.
It was a complete nightmare. And
What was the restaurant we always went to?
Oh, I can't remember if it was Smoky Bones, one of the barbecue places. But yeah, it was just awful. It was absolutely awful. It was just nothing to do. But I got more entertainment out of the I didn't watch it. We did like a little watch along party for it, which did well. But then I went back and I watched Sue and Diana because they were on ESPN2 during the game. It was Rebecca Lobo and somebody else calling the game, and then ESPN2, Dee and Sue were on, and they weren't really. They were just bantering and busting each other's balls, and they had guests on. Like you couldn't watch the game and listen to them.
Right.
As Maria said they're because they're just too funny.
Yeah,
you couldn't
yeah,
do
she's
both.
right.
You couldn't do both. So, but they are just hysterical. They're just hysterical. And Maria's dream, she sends Diana, I think I told you, she sends her house listings in Connecticut. So she'll move to Connecticut and take over for Gino when Gino eventually steps down.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
She thinks that Dee would be the obvious choice. I thought that Morgan would probably get it, but I think obviously Diana's the best of the best. If Diana wanted it, Diana was getting it.
Yeah.
But that was really interesting to see. Just I mean, from where they came from, they had a really bad loss, a really bad Big East loss. And I think it may have been Villanova. I'm not exactly sure. And then from that time, they just turned it on. And I was so happy. I was so happy for Paige because I bashed her quite a bit since the summer because, like I said, she was jet setting around. She was with Caitlin Clark. She was going to WNBA games, and her line at the end of the win was, nobody saw the work that I did over the summer. I wasn't just on vacation. I was out working everyone. People just didn't see it. So and Joe D, Joe D at a time during the middle of the season, Joe had said that he would not have put Paige close to the Mount Rushmore of UConn women's basketball players. And now he's changed his tune, and she would be fifth. She wouldn't make the four, but she would be fifth.
I think that's fair. Just thinking quickly off the top of my head, I think 5 is a perfect number for her. Top 5 UConn women's basketball player of all time. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's what he had. So it was good to see that. And the men's Final Four, the championship game, again, I mean, it was close. It was kind of embarrassing to Houston that they couldn't inbound the ball and get a shot off at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Calvin Sampson, like you're the head coach, like this is what you live for. Like every team has a play for the end of the game to get a shot off, to get the shot you need. And they didn't even attempt anything, which was so disheartening. I just Joe D got mad at me because I said I didn't think it was a good game. He said, "How could you say it wasn't a good game?" I said, because the final score was 65-63. I want to see scores in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or the 90s. Like they're low scoring games. It was slow and plodding. It wasn't like great basketball. And that's kind of how I felt throughout the tournament. Like the tournament, I can't even believe I'm uttering these words. It was boring. It just seemed like a boring tournament. There weren't many upsets. There weren't many close games. And all 4 number 1 seeds went to the Final Four. The only number 2 was UConn.
Dude, that's a fair argument. Like, I've never been a huge fan of the tournament. And it's
right.
It's
I'm
mostly
the same.
Yeah, it's mostly due to my, arrogance that I still have the mentality of a 20-year-old and think I'm better than all those basketball players.
Well, you are. You are. You're 6'6". You're better than all of them.
But it's just like, that's such a good point. Like all the top seeds were there. There was only like 2 upsets, maybe 3.
There were very few. Yeah. There were a couple on the men's side, but like there were no major ones.
Yeah.
Like a 3-13 or 14 upset. I don't think there were many 5-12 upsets. Like you didn't see it. Like it went basically according to the rankings.
Yeah.
So that was just disappointing to see, because March Madness is the most exciting time of the year for most people.
Right.
Now, let me get your thought on this. We did our Husky Hoops episode yesterday. Maria went over the pay that each conference received for the tournament.
Okay, what's that?
And this blew my mind. So the SEC got $3.7 million. The Big Ten got $3.5 million. The Big 12 got 2.8. The ACC. The ACC got like 2.5. The Big East was 5th and got $650,000.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, how in that? And it's obviously based on the number of teams that get in, but I would think you win the national championship, that's got to be worth at least $1 million. I mean, what did they get? Like $250K for the national championship? That doesn't even cover the travel.
Precisely. Yeah.
And they have to split it with the whole conference.
Oh my God.
So it's like unbelievable. It's just a broken model. And until UConn, and I said this before to you, Benedict has to really be aggressive to get into a conference, because I said it to Maria. I said 5 years from now, Gino may not be coaching. I mean, can we sustain being in the Big East? And Joe D said, if we are, the Big East is going to be a mid-major. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. And, UConn has done more with less, and I give them all the credit in the world. The 2 men's national championships. We went 9-4 in football. Basketball, I mean, they had a rough year. The women's win the national championship. Baseball went to the Final Four last year. I mean, hockey was in the Frozen Four. Yeah. And, we don't have the NIL money. And that's what we need to focus on. And that's why I said either Benedict or the coaches, instead of, going out and recruiting, they need to take 3 months, go see all the top donors and say, hey, listen, if you want us to continue to have success, you got to pony up the dough.
Yeah.
Because SMU, turned down 9 years of basically
Donation.
television revenue from the
Yeah.
ACC to join. They said,
Yeah.
we want to join the ACC so bad, we won't take 9 years of TV revenue. And the reason why they did that, because they raised $105 million of that Texas oil money. So it's like, UConn has to be in a situation where, talent wise, it's impressive that the little Big East, the little engine that could, is winning national championships, and they don't have nearly the funding. The SEC got the most teams in history for the men into the Sweet 16. And Joe and Dave Schumann both say it's because football and the NIL money is trickling down, and it's having that effect.
Yeah.
So we really need a major fundraising effort. We really need to push to get into a conference, because I just believe that you can't survive football being an independent. We don't have a TV deal that pays anything. We've scaled down the schedule. Like, we would go and play a Tennessee or a Michigan, a Clemson, and basically get the money that would at least break even to fund the season.
Yeah.
And, we're not doing that now. So they have to make a major adjustment. But I wanted to ask you, Justin Fields of the Jets came out yesterday with kind of just a surprising, somewhat controversial comments. He stepped in for Russell Wilson. He went 4-2. Now, they scaled back the playbook and the game plan to kind of protect him, which was probably a good idea. And Pittsburgh did want him back. I don't think they would have paid $40 million like the idiot Jets did. But they probably would have paid $30 million, maybe.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
So he said a big factor in him leaving was that he was benched after Wilson came back. And my thought, and I think you said this before, is you don't lose your job to injury. So I don't know how he could have been so butthurt over that to where it would affect him re-signing with the team when they clearly wanted him as the starter. So he's 26 years old. He's on his third team. Do you think that he's a $40 million quarterback? Do you think that his thoughts about Russell Wilson being reinserted into the starting lineup carry some validity? And do you think that he is going to make a difference for the Jets?
So, yeah, I guess he's a borderline $40 million a year quarterback.
Well, because that's I mean, you had said it before, like that's what it costs to get a quarterback now.
Yeah, especially a backup. Like the top 10 quarterbacks are making 50, and then you drop down.
Yeah.
So he's making less than half of the top quarterbacks.
Correct.
Which is a pretty good deal, which is why I think he jumped all over it, and the Jets did too. Yeah. What happened in Pittsburgh, I think you've got a little bit of a Rick James Chappelle show episode going on here, where Justin Fields theoretically said, fuck your couch. Fuck your couch.
Yes, and as he proceeded to kick dirt all over it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, dude, I'm 4-2. I've got like 2 turnovers in 6 games, and this guy's healthy. And you want to see what he's got. Like, how could you trust an organization after that? And then like,
And they're
didn't
typically a
even
good organization.
a good
which
order,
is
and Pittsburgh didn't even really pursue either aggressively. So
no, they did
so you
not.
have
They
the
did not.
lack of trust and then the lack of want. You get fuck your couch.
That exactly, and that's what they got. And he was diplomatic about it. He didn't bash them at all. He just said that it deeply affected his decision because he didn't get a chance to start again. So
Right.
I thought he was diplomatic and didn't act like an idiot and say something stupid. But yeah, I agree with you on that. Now the other story is Shedeur Sanders.
Mhm.
Okay. Shedeur Sanders is moving down the draft board, where some teams projected him as the number 1 pick early on. Some teams projected him in the top 3 early on. Now he could be going at number 9 to number 15. And because I don't know that he interviewed that great. And people question, I think, his arm strength. And he's a little bit shorter. He is athletic, but he's not like Lamar Jackson athletic. Where do you think Shedeur Sanders falls to? I mean, or how far do you think he falls? Or do you think the Giants will take a chance on him?
So I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants take a chance on him. But the farthest I really think he falls is 9 to Orleans. Because what's the new head coach down there?
Right.
The old Cowboys offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore.
And they got Derek Carr, who's been subpar.
Yeah, it's something to work with. He doesn't have to start right away. It's a good learning process. What do the Raiders pick? Are they?
The Raiders, I do not know where they
5 or 6
pick.
Are they after or before the Saints?
I'll check right now. Give me 1 second. They are they're before. They're number 6.
All right, so I really think 9 is the lowest or highest, whatever way you look at it. Number 9, I think that's the farthest he'll go.
Well, because the Raiders just signed Geno Smith, so. But I think, like you said, he's a bridge quarterback, like you said.
Geno, 2-year extension that gives Shedeur at least a year to learn.
Right.
And it's also like, you're going to be getting a lot more influx of cash from fans with jersey sales, gaming sales.
Big time. You're right.
Big time. So, he's bringing that to the game. And there's 2 things, I look at Shedeur. One is the interview process. He definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with his
very, very arrogant.
Yeah. No one wants to hear that shit when they haven't proved shit in the NFL. And he can say over and over again he did it with 2 crummy college programs. But I argue that. I argue that.
He had
great history.
Yes.
I actually wanted to go there badly, but they don't recruit Connecticut because they don't need to get all the kids.
Yeah, they get kids from the Midwest. So yeah, I agree with you there for sure. I know you got a phone call. That's okay. Oh, we got a comment. Let's see who commented. Oh, sports to the world. Great show on these days. Awale, I greatly appreciate your support. I greatly appreciate. I know you had a call, right? Call came in.
I got no volume.
No, you can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can't hear me.
I can hear you now. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So where did
I was just gonna say, Awale, thank you for your support. You always support the podcast. You always spread the word. We appreciate it. We were talking about Shedeur going to the Raiders.
Right. So forgot where I specifically
Well,
left
you
off.
thought it was good because he'd sit behind Geno.
Yeah, but the other
But
thing
the interview, yes.
Yeah, the interview. So that's rubbing guys the wrong way.
Yes.
Jackson State and Colorado do have fair amount of history. I know they haven't won like national championships and stuff.
Well, he got the best players at Jackson State. I mean, he got Travis Hunter to flip from Florida State to Jackson State.
Yeah.
The day before the signing day.
Right. There's really something.
He brought them all there. Colorado.
There's really something to be said about like who Shedeur is going to learn from and how long is he going to be able to learn, because the attitude is only going to win so many games. Listen, I love the it factor in Shedeur. Yes. You have to have that confidence. You do,
especially as a quarterback.
You have to, but it doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't guarantee winning games. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it kind of is a prerequisite. You can be a quiet, confident person, or you can be a little bit loud like Shedeur, but that's where it rubs people off the wrong way. So he's continually having to prove himself over and over again, which again is not a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for success. If you take it the right way, take the criticism the right way.
My only argument is Jackson State and Colorado, like they featured him primarily in the offense. And I know the quarterback is a big part of the offense, but I thought they did everything they could to kind of pad his stats even more, with the touchdowns, with the yards
well, I tell
rushing.
You what they were doing.
He did it all.
I tell you what they were doing to keep that completion percentage high, which apparently was the highest in college football.
It was. Yeah.
He took a lot of sacks and did not throw the ball away.
Really?
Yeah, he was not throwing the ball away. So that hurt the team.
But that's why they did it.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Don't throw the ball away. Just hold it and take the sack. No one.
So that's why his completion percentage was over 70%.
Yes.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
It's you see a lot of quarterbacks do it over history. They do it selfishly or for the team. And if you're throwing the ball away, it's more for the team. And if you're holding it for a sack, it's because you're padding the stats.
My other question to you: the Tennessee Titans have the number 1 pick, and they have been kind of mum on what they're going to do. If you're the Tennessee Titans, you have a lot of needs. You have Will Levis. I don't know if you can write him off already. They might. They could use Abdul Carter, obviously. Who do you go with if you're going to draft number 1 or number 2? Do you think they should trade back?
I never hate against trading back if you can accumulate.
I don't either.
Because it's such a crapshoot. It's a flip of the coin. It's gambling, more or less. There's no proven point. But Tennessee needs a quarterback, and it looks like Cam Ward is the best. But who is he learning from, and are you throwing him right into the fire, which I don't think is going to help him? So I would trade back or take.
I would take Hunter if they
like if you're forced to take a player, I would take Hunter. But I just feel like if you trade back, you can get a lot more value than just one player.
Yes.
And Tennessee's not a good team. So they need as many good players as they get because that stupid bitch owner is crazy, which is why Vrabel left and is why they're terrible.
Oh, you brought up the owner, Amy. Amy stunk. Let me tell you something. I have seen some crazy owners. Her father was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But she takes the cake.
She's so dumb.
She thinks she knows everything. It amazes me because I would have imagined her to kind of stay out of the way and let the football people do their job. Nope.
No,
I'm
not
the
with
owner.
nepotism.
I'm doing my job. I'm in charge. I own the team. I'll take whoever I want.
Yep.
My next question, there were a couple interesting articles about our favorite massage parlor guy, Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
And we mentioned it before. The Haslams came out and said, they made a mistake with the trade. Andrew Berry, the GM, said the same thing. There's questions whether he may have taken his last snap in Cleveland.
Definitely.
Okay, so that you're on that board.
Yeah.
You think that Cleveland does not put him on the field next year? Because his recovery is going to be. He may get back for like week 4, week 5 as it is, and they still they have to pay him for 2 more years.
Yep.
I think 2 years or 1 year, and I just pay him, keep him home, and draft a quarterback, take someone, get a veteran, and roll the dice. Because I think right now all they have is Pickett, so that's not going to win you games.
They need a quarterback too. And it's like, are you sitting on the sidelines for Wentz? Are you waiting for the the Falcons to trade Kirk Cousins?
And you're not signing Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Are you gonna trade back and pick up Tyler Trask? Not Trask.
I would pick Kyle McCord. From Syracuse. Yes, I think he's unbelievable.
But
I think he's underrated.
What Cleveland should have done, obviously, never should have made that contract with Deshaun Watson. It was so stupid.
You mean the three first-round picks and a fully guaranteed contract?
How he still
everyone
has a
in
job
the league
makes no sense.
They can't cut him. If they cut him,
the GM.
Barry, Andrew Barry, yes.
How does he have employment?
You want to know why? It's because the Haslams were the one that really pushed that trade.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was as much Andrew Barry. I think he went along with it. But I think when your bosses come to you and say, we want Deshaun Watson, and Andrew Barry says, well, they want 3 first-round picks, and D. Haslam says, I don't care. Give him 3 first-round picks. Oh, by the way, he can have a guaranteed contract.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable.
And it pissed everyone in the league off.
Especially Lamar Jackson.
Well, because nobody in the history of the NFL has gotten a guaranteed contract.
Joe Montana.
No. And okay, so he is still owed $173 million, $46 million each of the next 2 seasons, and that's without any bonus money. So, that's why they said 180. He could make up to 180 in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So even if they keep him home for this season, he is owed $46 million. And then
what I was going to say is what they should have done in this offseason with Myles Garrett was trade him, because then they'd have so many picks, and they could have restarted their whole thing. They could have gotten Abdul Carter or traded back and gotten some more people, and then they would have been in such a good position with all these picks. But
and that shocked me too.
Well, I get it. You want to keep Myles Garrett. He's arguably the best pass rusher in the game.
No, he is. He is. I didn't think they would re-sign him because I didn't think he would have any chance of wanting to come back.
I didn't think they'd offer him enough money, and I didn't think he wanted to stay there at all.
No. Well, come on, Sean. You've been to Cleveland. I mean, would you have wanted to keep your career in Cleveland if all you for 15 years.
Only if they were making major.
I think if they paid you enough, you would have stayed in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. I mean, it's
Berea, Ohio, Berea.
Yeah, it's just rough. And Woody's from Cleveland, so I love giving him shit about Cleveland. The other news was about Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill gets into a dispute with his wife. The police are called.
Oh boy.
And there were no charges filed.
Oh.
Which was shocking. The mother, his girlfriend or whatever, said that he was aggressive, impulsive. She was afraid because he has an infant daughter, and he was like pushing her, and he was violent and was out of control. He was physical. They interviewed Hill. He said the opposite. And when it's he said, she said, they asked Hill to leave the house for a while. I think he may have spent the night at a hotel, but it ended up no charges were filed.
I'm seeing,
but it was shocking to see. But Hill has had a couple issues, especially when he was arrested outside the stadium driving in. That I'm sorry, that cracked me up.
I saw. That video was crazy. Both sides were wrong. He was wrong, and then that cop was like way too aggressive and like. But I get it because the cop had
no patience. Yeah, he wouldn't put the music down.
Yeah,
like. This is the only thing that bothers me with people complaining about the police and all that. I didn't know that if a cop gives you an order, that it's optional to follow.
I
thought if a cop tells you to do something, you have to do it.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
And
here's what I think with Tyreek Hill. And it's sad, but there's some truth to it. I think he's getting that Antonio Brown.
Oh, no.
And all that is too many hits to the head. You know, they can't think rationally anymore because they're fucking,
God.
You know, we get it. We're all jacked up in the head. Like, we're not right. And it's because we've hit our heads like 5,000 times. So you're not going to make the best decisions every single time.
Antonio Brown.
He's starting to get like that.
When he took his pads off at Jets Stadium, threw everything into the crowd, got naked, and ran in the locker room, I was blown away.
Well, we're going to circle back here, and that was another fucking
Well, because it was Tom Brady that pushed for him. Tom Brady was the one that brought him in.
Yeah, and Brady being like, "What the fuck, dude, man? I'm doing all this stuff for you, and you're just totally
he caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. I mean, he played great when they brought him in 2020, and then 2021 he just went off a cliff. And then he's another one with the sexual assault allegations that's getting sued by multiple women. That just blows my mind. It's like I get when you're an NFL star that you may think that you're above the law or certain rules, but that was a little too much for me. That was a little too much for me. I didn't get that.
Yeah, it's like I try to explain to people, like regular people who aren't huge athletes, professional athletes. It's like you have to understand how immature we all are.
Of course we are.
We never really left like grammar school or high school mentality because our main goal never changed of being like a professional athlete or sports. Like, you know, everyone goes to classes, everyone's got to study and stuff. But like my main focus on all these guys and yours was football. And that circle, that locker room, that environment, we never really left. And we came into adults as it still being like teenagers, young teenagers, like our mentality and stuff. That's just the way I look at it. Because so look at it this way, like say you graduate high school, say you don't go to college, you got to get a job. All right, you're growing up pretty quickly.
You're in the real world. Yeah.
Same thing with football. Like you graduate college, say you get an opportunity to play professionally. All right, great. You can still maintain what your mentality is. But if you don't make it, you've got to change everything. The workouts are gone. The job is gone. Like all these
everything being done for you is gone.
Is gone. So when they get older, they're so acclimated to this lifestyle that they don't know how to change, and the toughest behavior to change is adult behavior. So it's like, what do you expect? And on top of that, you're banging his head about 1,000 times a year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the difference between, like, I know your father and my father at least stressed the importance of academics and getting a degree and not wasting that opportunity. So I think we were a little bit more mature and somewhat focused on academics.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have that, we just would have run roughshod. Like there would have been no point to have done anything about that. So that's just crazy.
The best example of that is Uwe, the guy behind me here.
Uwe took every opportunity given to him, made the most of it. He got his undergraduate degree. He got his master's degree. He worked his tail off to get his PhD. He knew the value of education because both of his parents were college professors, and he had really big goals, and that's why he took it so seriously.
Yeah.
And he's very, very intelligent.
It was awesome to see. I think his dad passed before,
and in high school, yes.
Yeah, but my dad and his dad had like the same jobs, and his
right.
mom. So that they were able to. We talked about stuff like that all the time, and
that's the main reason he came to UConn was Randy went to his father's funeral.
Oh,
which I couldn't believe. Like, I give him all the credit in the world that he did that for him.
Wow.
Randy went down there for the funeral. Yeah. And that's what got him, because he was the whole reason that you weren't there for him, I believe.
Right.
Maybe you were. Kevin Doherty was the coach who recruited him. He was only being recruited by a Division II school, by like Bloomsburg.
Yeah.
And Doherty was at St. Peter's, I believe. He was like a diamond in the rough. Like, and he wanted to play basketball.
Yep.
So Doherty recruited him, and Randy brought Doherty on, who he played with at Syracuse, but he brought him on really to kind of get Uwe there. Uh-huh. That was the big coup that he had. But speaking, I just wanted to get your thoughts before we take off. Speaking of CTE, I have talked to our old friend Greg Smoot. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Okay. He is completely out of his mind. I feel so bad for him. So this is a true story. About a month ago, Greg Smoot showed up at my house in Utica, New York.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yep.
No idea he was coming. I just remember my father saying, "There's a car in our driveway. Are you expecting anyone?" I said, "No." And I got a text from him saying, "I'm here." And I go, "Where?" He goes, you got the white car in the driveway, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I'm here." I'm like, "Oh God." Okay. He has CTE at a very, very high level.
Yeah.
He gets great care. He goes to Johns Hopkins. They take good care of him. but he's got a slew of issues. Like if you talk to him right now, it doesn't resemble what we remember him as. I mean, he was just the hardest worker. He was a quiet kid, an introvert. Now it's number one, it scares me because I don't know how far away it could be for any of us to get to that level. He is completely like paranoid. Like he said that he's a Freemason, part of the Illuminati. We can't listen to music because music is how the government controls our mind.
Yeah.
So I went outside. I said, "All right, come on in." I couldn't get him to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Because he was so anxious. I got him out of the car. He comes in. He's super. He can't stop talking because he's bipolar.
And,
So he can't stop talking.
Nervous talking.
Very, very nervous. He was he was nervous around my parents.
Yeah.
Because this is 10 o'clock on a Sunday night.
Oh my God.
And they're getting ready to go to bed. And
this guy shows
the
up.
first thing he does is he has to get high.
Yeah.
So on my kitchen table in front of my mother, he rolls a joint.
Oh my God.
And my mom's like, "What is he doing?" I'm like, "Mom, you got to let him go. Just go away." Is that the marijuana? I go, "Yes, it's the marijuana." I go, "What's he doing?" He goes, "This is it's prescribed to him." His neuropsychologist actually prescribed it and suggested it over some other medications, and it does really make a difference and kind of calm him down.
Yeah.
So he's rolling joints, and he wants to go out in the car and smoke. And of course, my mother is going ballistic. Like, you can't go out and smoke with him. Like, I gotta go out with him. I gotta calm him down. So I went out and I was smoking with him, and he was just going on and on about the Illuminati and the Freemasons and politics, and it's just how messed up he is. Just to see the difference in who he was and who he is now. And that's when it was like, I mean, I need to go see a neurologist. I need to get evaluated. We all need to, because I was like, and I feel bad because, he has reached out to some people, and he feels like, people have kind of shunned him and turned away from him.
Yeah. And
I'm like, and it's true. And I said, Greg, it's not personal. You got to understand, we're old now, man. Everyone's got jobs, families, kids, careers. They don't always have the time to talk and personally respond.
Yeah.
So we smoked, we talked, we had a good time. He was calm. We hung out. And I had the podcast the next day.
Yeah.
But I was like, listen, just his parents were terrified because he just took off. Yeah. He got in an argument and he just left. They didn't know where he went. They were scared.
Jeez.
And so they were calling. It was funny because they were calling, his mother was calling my mother because I'm the only person that he talks to.
Right.
So like, can Steve find out where he is? And I'm like, what did he do? He's like, he just left. I'm like, well, he'll come back. Where's he going to go? So again, he shows up here. I said, all right, just you can hang out today. I'll do my shows. We can hang out. My family will be gone. Nobody will be here. You don't have to worry about anything. He doesn't want to be in the house. He's always got to be doing something.
Yeah.
So he usually drives around and he smokes.
Yeah.
And he just relaxes. He doesn't bother people. So I said, fine. I said, if you want to go drive around and come back when I'm done, I'll be done at like 5. Go ahead. And so that happens. He doesn't come back.
Oh.
He goes on the run. Now he ends up somewhere he goes from New York to Massachusetts to Connecticut. And he's just like stopping, and he's sleeping in his car. He's parking places, and his family is so worried about him. And they're calling to find out where he is, and he's hesitant to tell me where he is because he knows that we're going to tell his mother. He was just afraid of he didn't want to get in trouble and end up in a psych ward or something like that. So I would talk with him every day, just make sure he was okay. And then, I talked to his brother. He won't talk to his brother. He thinks there's demons after him. There's demons out there. Demons are after him. And, thankfully I'm not a demon, but everyone else is. And like he was posting stuff on Facebook, and I would get called by Terry and Uwe, and they're like, what is he doing? He's saying stuff about us, because he really enjoys some of the podcasts that I do, and he would like them and share them. And he would like take it personal and get angry if our other friends weren't liking and sharing the podcast.
Okay.
And so he started posting stuff about them, like being selfish assholes or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did not appreciate that. So we were trying to get him to go home. He was running out of money. He's on total disability. He was running out of money. And I said, Greg, listen, just please, I'll Venmo you a couple $100. Can you please go home? and your mother's terrified. He's like, nope. He's like, she's going to put me away. He's like, I don't want to go near her. And she argues with me. I said, Greg, listen, I promise you, if it happens again, you can come here. Just you can stay with it. You stay with me, and we'll hang out. You have a place here. You don't have to stay there.
Right.
You just go back. If it doesn't work out, you're more than welcome to come back here. So we finally got him to go home. And it was just such a relief. I had never been so scared. I was scared and nervous in my life, because he's sleeping in his car.
Spontaneous and uncontrollable. Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
But I was never. He's not. He admits it. He's like, I'm not violent. He's like, people think I talk too much, which I do, and he apologizes every 2 seconds because he talks so much. Yeah. And I said, Greg, you can talk. Like, listen, this is, we're not doing anything formal. Like, you can talk. He's like, I'm sorry if I'm talking so much. I don't. He doesn't have. He doesn't have a lot of friends, so when he gets an opportunity to talk, he talks. Yeah. Now he says some crazy stuff, but like I said, like he's mentally ill. It's not right. It's not him. You have to understand. And I said this to him. I said, Greg, listen, we all of us went through hell. We went through hell, and none of us came out unscathed. Uwe's had a number of surgeries. Terry's had a number of surgeries. You were banged up.
Oh,
I've
had a lot of surgeries and still need to have more.
Yeah. I mean, I have the same issues and some, but that's why, like, I told my parents, I'm like, I'm not giving up on him. I'm like, we all went through this together. We all got screwed up. And we have to at least try to show that we care for each other and love each other, because what we went through, nobody else is going to understand. And, we have to be there for each other because
So true.
we're the only ones who can. So he's at least off Facebook, I think now. But
well, that's the main reason I got in touch with you, because my
yeah.
wife was like, something's going on with Colleen Smoot, and I was like,
she heard.
Yes, I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, she's like, just call them. I was like, all right. So I called you, and that's how we kind of got started.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, because he left again, and he called me a week or 2 weeks ago. It was probably right around when you called me. He was at a Wawa in New Jersey.
Oh, I love Wawa.
I love Wawa too. That's the first thing I said. I said I love Wawa. It's terrible, but he says, "Yeah, I'm in a parking lot at a Wawa." I go, "Oh man, I love Wawa. Did you go in and get anything?" And he slept in his car at a Wawa. And again, it was, I was like, "Listen, man, if you want to come here, come here." He's like, "No, it's going to be the weekend. Your family will be there. I don't want to be around anyone." And again, it was a situation where he was driving around, and his mother was calling, and I was trying to get him to go home, and I eventually got him to go home again.
Good.
And that's where he is now, and that's where he is doing. I hope he's doing better. But I try to check in with him. And, the good part is I give Jeff Larson so much credit. Jeff Larson called him for me to check in with him. I just wanted to show him that people care and that he's loved.
Yeah.
That's what he needs.
All anyone really wants to feel.
Yeah.
I was telling you, Rennell Jump's probably in the same boat, but playing that 1 technique and 3 technique, if you know football, no one's banging their head more. You could be an offensive lineman and there's a stunt, no one touches you. But if you're a defensive lineman doing that stunt, you got to hit somebody. Running backs are often guarded as the most physical position. And I've seen some tough ass running backs, including Terry Cawley, who was 5'7", 100 nothing, getting crushed by 4 300-pounders and stand right back up. But he could go out on pass plays and not hit his head.
Yes.
And, there's the micro concussions and the mega concussions. I'm not comparing or trying to compete with who's hitting more. I'm just telling you, no one has more contact with
every play
than a defensive tackle.
Absolutely. It's every single play.
To me, it's not surprised. I've lived through a lot of the stuff. I got nothing but good stories about Smoot.
No, everyone does. Yeah. I mean,
we roomed all of 2002 together on the road and at home. So had some great funny stories there. I mean, and I think I told you this too. Like we were inside linebackers in high school.
Yes, you both were. Yes,
and then we were both defensive ends as freshmen.
Yes,
our sophomore years inside. So we have like the same cycle. So
exactly.
A lot of similarities. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I bring it up just so he knows that people care about him. We all care about him.
Like my favorite picture of all time. We're like
that is a badass picture. And that's in the freaking Aeropostale jersey. We're the only team
underneath not Rentschler. What was that field we played at?
Oh, Memorial Stadium.
Memorial Stadium.
And the Aeropostale, we're the only team in the country with freaking Aeropostale.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Well,
45 minutes turned into an hour and 15.
Well, between the Seinfeld and all that, yeah, it did. But
let me get a little teaser, all right?
Oh, please do.
Have you seen Last of the Mohicans?
Of course.
All right.
No.
It's
No.
close, but it's similar. It's not as good, but I got my little
Oh
hatchet.
my God.
My little hatchet.
Oh my God, the hatchet.
Have you ever seen Count of Monte Cristo
Yes.
or Thundercats?
Where do you get this stuff on eBay? Like, there's no sword store.
My neighbor knew I liked this stuff, so this was free from my neighbor. This was like $15 on Amazon, but I cut a lot of firewood. Like I do a lot of wood stuff, and this was from like a Halloween costume, like almost 20 years ago. This is
That's the Braveheart. Yes, I remember that. That I remember.
So just a little teaser. So watch. Well, you've already seen Last Mohicans. I was going to say that you've already seen.
No, there was Predator 2. There was one other movie you gave me. I was supposed to watch.
Jewel of the Nile and Romance.
Jewel of the Nile. Yes.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones. Yes, I will watch those.
Do Romancing the Stone first.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that over the weekend, and then if Monday or whenever the next day you want to record, we'll do something. Or if you want to do something over the weekend, I'll check in with you. But this was great. I appreciate you stepping up and doing it.
Yeah, no problem.
So for the legend himself, former UConn defensive lineman and NFL Europe star Sean Mulcahy, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.